Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Tax season can be a stressful time of the year for many. We chatted with a local CPA for tips for those who are preparing to file this year. I'm joined today here on Primetime Local News with Kristen McGowan. Thank you so much for being here today. You're with McGowan Professional Corporation, and we're here talking taxes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. We're getting into that tax season. I know it can be a stressful time for a lot of people, so we're here kind of to cover some of the basics, get some of your expertise. So my first question maybe is just what people should be preparing. What kind of documents do they need to get together and have when it comes time for tax season?
I think that's probably the most stressful part of tax season for everybody. You always see this time of year, everybody's starting to get their paperwork together and they're not really sure what to do. So I think the best thing you can do is think about the things that you needed last year. You're probably going to need the same things this year. So that would be any tax slips that you receive annually. And then some of the most common deductions, just get your receipts in categories or piles. If you even add them up, that's even more helpful. And if you're working with a professional accountant in town, lots of firms send out checklists, so just look through those and make sure you're including everything that's being asked.
And I'm assuming it's probably better to bring more information and maybe you won't need it than not bring something that's important, eh?
Yeah, for sure, because there's always things that if we don't know about them, then we can't catch them for you. So there's a little bit of a conversation to always have there, but if you include more than not enough, then we have some talking points to go off. So definitely include more than nothing.
So you mentioned deductions. Let's go into a little bit about maybe what are some of the most common deductions what people will see on their taxes.
Yeah, the most common deductions that people will have is daycare costs, medical receipts, donations. We see a lot around. Those are kind of the common ones that everybody knows about.
I think a couple years ago, especially during COVID, there was a lot of kind of new things that people needed to think about when it comes to taxes, CERB, stuff like that, work from home stuff. Is there anything new this year that maybe people should keep in mind when it comes to tax season? Yeah,
there's always a few things every year that are new that get missed by a lot of people. And so it's funny you bring up CERB because that's one of the things that is still carrying over from COVID. And so a lot of people were required to repay their CERB. And so one of the things for this year is you might have an extra slip for that confirming you repaid the money. We have some options with that repayment that it can actually go back to the year that you had to include it in income when you got it, or you can deduct it in the year that it was paid. So there's a little bit of tax planning to watch there, and just make sure that you take that deduction for that repayment. There are some other things that are new this year too. There's a air quality credit. So if you installed anything for commercial use that uses HEPA filters, there's a new credit for that. And then there's also some new credits around flow-through shares. We expanded the disability tax credit this year. And by we, I mean the government expanded that. So if you have type 1 diabetes, that was the biggest change, is that you now qualify. So I'd watch for that. And there's also some new benefits that are out, so not really related to taxes, but they'll kind of tie in, and so that's around first-time home buyers, and there's a new underutilized housing tax, it's called, that kind of we just got details on in the last month, and so that's one to be aware of too if you own residential property.
That's a long list. I'm sure, I'm glad I asked that question. People are wondering what's going on. Let's talk about maybe misconceptions. Is there anything that you can bring up when it comes to misconceptions for people with their taxes? One
of the biggest ones that we deal with is dealing with small businesses, proprietorships. And so a lot of people who are operating under that small business structure and are filing that on their personal taxes think they need to incorporate or are wondering about becoming a limited company. And the biggest misconception that I see there is that you're going to have more tax write-offs or you're going to save tax if you incorporate. So that would be the biggest misconception at personal tax time that we see.
Now let's talk a little bit about your office here, McGowan Professional Corporation, down here in downtown Lloydminster. How are things going? This must be getting ready for a busy time for you guys. Hey?
Yeah, our office is really busy. You know, it seems like people are really ramping up around town. Businesses are busy, which is good to see. Everybody's hiring, and so that includes us. So one of the things we're looking for right now is another CPA. Our team is ready to expand, and you know, great place to work. We have a lot of fun at our office. There's flexible time, there's benefits, very competitive wages, and partnership opportunities. So just like everybody else in town, we're looking for that next person to help grow.
So if there's anyone out there, just give your office a call, send an email, something like that. And
Yeah, they can just email me directly at kristen@mcgowancpa.ca and or give our office a call at 587-605-1438 and we can chat.
Awesome. And then for anyone out there that are interested in connecting when it comes to getting their taxes done for themselves or for their business, obviously you guys are open for that as well, hey?
Yes, yeah, and you can just visit us at www.mcgowancpa.ca and all the details is on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing some of your insights with us.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
Mount Joy Ski Hill is in need of donations for the new year to help keep the winter wonderland alive. Our Shelby Clark spoke with a member from the Mount Joy board on their upcoming silent auction and how people can support.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Allison Hazard with the board of Mount Joy Ski Hill. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Allison.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really happy to be here.
Glad to be able to have you on here because there is a silent auction that's going to be coming up in support of the Mount Joy Ski Hill, and there's also going to be a steak night involved. So starting off, can you kind of explain what the silent auction is all about and what's involved with that?
Yeah, so it's going to be online. We've done an auction with 32 auctions. That's an online auction platform before, and we've had major success with it. I think we made about $9,000 a couple of years ago. And we're just looking to do that kind of again. We're juggling with the idea of putting it to an in-person once we're at the steak night kind of thing. So then we get a little bit more like reach with it, with people coming into brew house kind of thing afterwards. Should be really good. I've had a few donations already for it. I've been kind of canvassing on my own here, just kind of by word of mouth and by foot, walking into businesses and stuff like that. But getting it out on this platform is really good.
Well, we're happy to be able to help with this and help spread the word. So for people interested in the silent auction, can you kind of explain when it starts and where to find it online?
Yeah, for sure. So we will be sharing, it starts on March 1st, and we'll be adding items in daily kind of thing. So definitely check back every time that you can to see what else is new on there. But yeah, basically we'll be posting it on our website. We'll be posting it on our social medias and all that kind of stuff, and we'll be sharing a lot of it. So it shouldn't be too hard to find, but if you do have any troubles, definitely either message us at info@mountjoy.ca or you can message the Facebook page.
And with the steak night, can you explain when that will take place? Because you were saying this will be at the Canadian Brew House, correct?
Yeah, for sure. So it's the silent auction will end on March 16th at about 9 p.m. That'll be the end of the steak night. So the steak night will run from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Canadian Brew House on March 16th there. So we've had a steak night a couple months ago through Cord at the brew house, and it was successful. So we decided to give it another go, and hopefully we can make it even more successful.
Now, can you expand on why the board has decided to have this online silent auction with the steak night?
So our costs have skyrocketed, basically. One of our biggest issues is that our hill insurance went from us paying $8,000 a year to $34,000 a year for the same insurance. So basically, with being open approximately 17 days out of the year, you're paying just over $2,000 ish around there just to be open a day. Sorry.
And with proceeds from this, where exactly will this be going towards for Mount Joy?
It'll be mostly going to operating costs because we have to have a certain nest egg each year to start up and to pay for our energy and our gas or whatever, power and all that kind of stuff, for snowmaking and all that kind of stuff. So we definitely, there's a lot of cost to it, and it's a volunteer run hill. So trying to keep people around who can properly do everything that we need is hard as well. But yeah, it'll be mostly going to operating costs is really all it boils down to.
Has the board held this fundraiser in previous years with a need of support from the community?
Yeah, we've had a lot of help in the last few years. We've done like some revamping at the hill kind of thing, because we've had some very successful years, but it's just with the insurance costs and going into this year, which everything has risen in price for everyone. So we're not seeing as much of a user base. So it's kind of it's a crack time to get in on it. But we've definitely seen a lot of help from the community. We get some grants from different places, like the County of Vermilion River gives us an operating grant kind of thing, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just we're hurting. We're hurting this year.
And lastly, I want to ask if you have a message that you want to send out to the community for why you believe they should think about taking part in this online silent auction with the steak night.
The only thing I would say is my slogan for right now for fundraising for Mount Joy is keep the joy in Mount Joy, because it's an amazing place for everyone that attends. So it's been around for just about 60 years, and I'd hate to see it go. So.
Perfect, Allison. Well, it was really nice speaking with you. I hope you see some strong support from this, which I definitely believe you will. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much.
And now let's check in with weather. Here's Shelby Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast. A lot warmer day today for sure here in the border city. You know, we are seeing a beautiful day. -4 is what we are sitting at right now, and with that wind chill feeling slightly cooler, just past that -10 points. But hopefully everybody is enjoying it, because we were going through a couple cool days this week, so it's nice to see a nice break for today as we are seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. So hopefully everybody is enjoying it. It's definitely a switch up in these conditions, but don't think we are complaining, because we will be seeing those conditions start to drop down later on through next week. Looking at our school day forecast for tomorrow, all the kids starting off with that single-digit temperature, which is nice. Right off in the morning around 8 a.m., they'll be seeing that -7 to -6 degrees as they go throughout the day. And by the time the school day is out, they will be hitting that -3 with a mixture of some sun and cloud for where we will be sitting at. So by the time the school day is out, it will be quite beautiful outside for them to enjoy after class. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots will be sitting around, or right now are sitting just at those single digits with those minus marks. And we are even seeing those plus conditions in some areas starting to make their way back across the region, especially over in Edmonton, of course. Seeing some warmer conditions compared to the rest with that 5 degrees. We go a bit higher up to Lac La Biche, just at that 3-degree mark, and most spots are actually seeing that around -1 to that 0 mark over on our Alberta side. -2 there in Vegreville, while it's -3 in Marwayne, and looking at that -3 down as well in Provo. So most spots have definitely warmed up quite a bit for today and what we are sitting at compared to yesterday and the last couple days before that. So I think it's looking quite nice. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are slightly matching with us on our Alberta side, with most spots seeing those single digits, although they aren't seeing too many plus temperatures that we are seeing on our Alberta side, so most spots are looking slightly cooler. We are seeing the warmest with that 0 mark up there in Pearson, while most are seeing around -3 to -4 degrees, seeing -6 up in Isle Cross. As we go a bit lower, they start to cool down slightly more. -5 in Macklin, and North Battleford is seeing the coolest condition compared to the rest with -7. But North Battleford will be going down to low of -8 for their evening low, so not cooling down by too much more for their evening low temperature, and they will be seeing more cloudier conditions. Won't be expecting any too crazy conditions with a high chance of flurries. Then for their daytime high tomorrow, -2, so seeing that single digit, although seeing some slight snowfall. A little bit of snowfall at times throughout the day, so make sure to keep those shovels ready just in case for your North Battleford, because it will be coming. Looking at Cold Lake, they will be going down to low of -9 for their evening low, so seeing that single digit for tonight. Nice break from what we have been seeing. You know, everybody's probably plugging in their vehicles and not really needing to do it tonight, so it's definitely a switch up. And then for their daytime high tomorrow, looking at -5, so expecting that single digit for tomorrow, although 80% chance of some snowfall as well. For us here in the border city, we will be going down to low of -7. So looking at a beautiful temperature for our evening low, although we will be seeing some flurries later on throughout the evening and throughout the night. So just be prepared for that, because then tomorrow for our Friday, starting off our weekend, -2 for our daytime high and a mixture of some sun and clouds. So another beautiful day expected for tomorrow. And now ending off with a look at one of your weather photo submissions. Thank you to everyone that have submitted. I'm just using this one for today. Thank you so much for this gorgeous shot. Oh my Lord, I love seeing that pink in the sky. So really appreciate it. That's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Lakeland Wrestlers men's basketball team is regular season will be finishing up this weekend. And with more on what's on the line, here's Thomas Wildman.
The Lakeland Wrestlers come into this weekend tied with the Nate Ooks for second place, with 2 games left on the schedule. These games are very important, but head coach Sheree Thomas emphasized the importance of every game.
Every game's important. We have, a bye on the line, possibly, if we're in the top 2. We're trying to get second place. Well, we're currently in second place, so if we're able to get a couple of wins, that would cement that. And you just want to feel good, possibly go in the playoffs, right? So every game's important.
With how the playoff format works, teams will match up against South Division opponents who they have only had 1 game against. The players are ready to prove themselves and are prepared for any opponent.
Coach just does a really good job in practice to show us, what these teams are really about, the stuff that they like to do and the players that they have. And, it's really just up to us. When we show our best and we play like who we are, there's really no one that can stop us. So we just got to really hone in on the details, and it starts in practice, and coach is showing us the right way. So I think if we really just locked in 100% as a team, it shouldn't be too much. We should show these guys what's up.
Coach Sheree also has his team really focusing on defense for the championships.
Defense, and more defense. Defense is key. If you're able to stop teams, especially in the playoff, it votes well for you. We're going over some offense stuff, repetition, communication, just feeling well, and everybody being on the same page.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime Local News.
And now it's time for us to check in once again with Shelby Clark, who has another look at weather.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jason Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast, we'll be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. We are looking at some beautiful temperatures on our Alberta side. We were seeing some plus temperatures yesterday when we were looking at the central area, but now OSWATs are all seeing, those plus temperatures. We are just hitting that 0 mark in Whitecourt, but we start to warm up from there. Most are just at that 1 degree mark, 5 and 6 in the rest with Rocky Mountain House, Edson, and Edmonton. So definitely have warmed up for today right now from what we are sitting at, and we are seeing some beautiful temperatures because I continue to say, make sure you are taking advantage and getting outside and enjoying it because we will be dropping down pretty soon again. Definitely seeing those conditions fluctuate, so make sure to be prepared for whenever it drops. Looking over on our Saskatchewan side, they definitely are looking a lot more cooler compared to Alberta side. For us here in the border city, we are still sitting at that -4. Meadow Lake is twinning with us now, looking at that -7 and -8 with Saskatoon and North Battleford. Prince Albert and Melfort are hitting those double temperatures as they are cooling down quite a bit. Going over to our northern zone now, they have warmed up slightly in some spots. Most are seeing those double digits continue on, but La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are just sitting at -6. Looking at that -13 in Wollaston Lake, while most are around -16, -17 degrees, and Stony Rapids continues to be past that -20 point. Now, as we go back over to our Alberta side in our northern zone, these spots here continue to slightly warm up compared to the rest. With seeing those plus temperatures now, 2 degrees for Grand Prairie and Slave Lake, while it's that 1 degree in Peace River. The rest are still seeing some pretty cool conditions. -8 in Fort McMurray, while high level in Fort Chipewyan seeing those double digits with -11, and a drastic drop for Fort Chipewyan now at -20. But now as we go over to our southern zone, of course, they are looking quite warm, usually seeing the best conditions out of everywhere that we look. 9 degrees in Calgary as they are almost hitting that 10 degree mark, so definitely looking a lot warmer in Calgary. 4 and 5 for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, while Banff is just sitting at that 1 point. And up in Coronation, still looking quite cool compared to the rest with -7, but still seeing that single digit. Now as we end off here, looking at our Saskatchewan side in our southern zone, they have warmed up slightly except for Yorkton and Regina as they kind of continue that cool streak with those double digits. We're seeing that -7 over in Estevan, while it's -6 here in Kindersley, and Swift Current and Moose Jaw looking the warmest compared to the rest with -1 and -2. But now as we look at some overnight temperatures, there we go, sorry, it's freezing on me once again. As we look at some overnight temperatures tonight in surrounding areas, most are going to be expecting those single digits, which is always going to be, blessed to see. We were seeing some pretty cool conditions for our evening lows throughout the week, so it's nice to see that we are warming it up back again for tonight. A low of -9 for Meadow Lake and Bonnyville, while Paradise Hill will be expecting a low of -8. Provost is going to be expecting the warmest with that low of -6, although seeing around a 60% chance of some flurries later on in the evening. And Isla Crosse will continue to keep on that cool streak with that low of -18. With that wind chill, definitely feeling past that -20 points. So for everyone in Isla Crosse, definitely going to be expecting another cool night tonight. And Paradise Hill will also be expecting a high chance of those flurries later on. So for some areas in our surrounding area, they are going to be expecting to see those flurries later on tonight. Meanwhile, some will be seeing a calm evening, although they will be expecting it tomorrow. Looking at our hourly forecast for here in the Border City for our Friday, we are going to be seeing those single digits throughout the day, starting off in the morning around -7 for our coolest condition, and for our daytime high expecting around -2. So definitely a beautiful day expected for us here in the Border City tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, as we head into the weekend, we will be cooling down slightly with that -6 that we will be seeing for the coolest around 8 or 10 p.m. So just be prepared. We will be expecting another beautiful day. And now as we look into our extended forecast as we go past tomorrow into our weekend, -5 Saturday, so we will be seeing another single digit, although condition-wise, expecting some flurries here and there. So be prepared to keep those shovels out just in case. And that will continue into our Sunday with around a 75% chance of a snow shower in the evening. So be prepared. We are seeing some beautiful temperatures for the weekend, for our Family Day weekend, although we will be expecting those flurries. That's all I have for now. RJ Smacky will have news coming up for you after the break.
Today I'm super pleased to be joined here with Natasha, of Art Soul Life, and she's hosting a teddy bear and storytime activity coming up on March 11th. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So can you start off by telling me a little bit about what this teddy bear and storytime activity is all about?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to be reading a story, and a well-known story, hopefully for most out there. It's The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And then we're going to get the kids actually to stuff their own little stuffies. So they'll be stuffing little rabbits, and he's super cute. And we're going to give them their own fluff and a dowel so they can actually stuff it themselves instead of us stuffing it for them.
And since you guys are going to be reading The Peter Rabbit, did you happen to choose this storybook because Easter is right around the corner?
Absolutely. We just thought we would incorporate a little bit of Easter whimsy. I know the Easter is still a little ways away into April, but it's just the perfect time. I thought shake off a little bit of the winter blahs and get out and have a little bit of fun.
I'm an Easter lover through and through, so I can really appreciate why you're bringing this to the community. But alongside the rabbit stuffing and the reading of the story, do you have any maybe snacks or anything that the kids can indulge in?
Yeah. They're going to come and we'll read our story, and then we'll stuff our bunnies, and then we'll have some special snacks. So we'll have some juice and some water and an extra special treat that we're just going to theme around the book.
And for anyone who maybe want to sign up for the super cool Easter activity, where can they sign up? What's the cost? And is there an age restriction?
You can head to our website at www.artsourlifecreativestudio.ca and then click book online, and there'll be a bunch of little tabs, and you can just scroll through there and find it. It should be under kids events, and it starts at 12:30 and should go to about 1:30 or so, and it's for ages from 0 to 99.
So you mentioned that the age is from 0 to 99. That's obviously a big difference. So can you tell me the reasoning behind extending the age restriction to that high up?
You know, usually our storybooks events are just for ages 2 to 5, so the toddlers. But this is just something that will speak to everybody. And I don't know if a lot of people know about the story of Peter Rabbit, but it's iconic and it's a classic. And so it'll speak to the older generation as well, who might know or remember their parents reading it to them as well. And so we just thought, you know what, bring your kids in, enjoy, make a little stuffy, and yeah, it'll be great.
And alongside this event that you have coming up on March 11th, specifically around Easter, do you have any other events that you maybe host weekly or bi-weekly or anything like that?
We do. I do storybooks and paintbrushes every 2 weeks usually, and that's a story time, a craft, and a little snack. And it takes about an hour. We have other kids events that every other week we do on Friday nights. It's junior kids nights out, and that's for ages 5 to 9, or 5 to 8. And then kids nights out is 9 and up, and we watch a movie, we eat pizza, we make a craft, and it's a drop-off event, a 2.5-hour drop-off event. And then we have other things that pop up as well. We're going to be doing a springtime gnome plate soon here for April, and an adult paint night. And so, yeah, we just do a lot of different things like that.
So this is obviously a specialty activity that you're offering to members of Lloydminster, and it's something that people of all ages can join, and they should join.
Yes, absolutely. And you can come with your child if you want. Anybody over 5 can be dropped off. That's no problem to be a drop-off event. But yeah, 1 parent per child we're asking, just so that there's room for everybody to spread out and enjoy.
All right, Natasha, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. It was a pleasure talking with you and learning about the Teddy Bear and Storytime event coming up on March 11th.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Every once in a while, I might think about you, baby. Every once in a while, when I'm with someone new, I swear I'm happy now.
I'm excited to be enjoyed today on Primetime Local News, all the way from Los Angeles, California. The weather is much nicer there. Novel is joining us. Novel, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Oh my God, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be part of this network.
Well, we want to start talking about your connection to this area. You're from Paradise Hill, now living in Los Angeles. So I have to know, Novel, how does that happen?
Just small town prairie girl. I had big dreams, and, I feel so fortunate that I got to, have such a big, broad picture of, what I wanted in my life. And I was given this gift from God to this beautiful voice. And, I just really followed my dreams. And I just moved out to Los Angeles. I took that big bullet and I just you know what, I'm just going to go. And I feel so excited because I try to be, kind of like a voice for people, that even though you're from a really small town, cow country, that you can follow your dreams, that just don't keep yourself in a little box.
Well, I don't imagine it was easy, though. I mean, you've been there for just about 10 years now, so you've worked really hard for this. But when you first got out there, how did you make your way around? I mean, you just graduated college and you have to kind of navigate this whole industry. So did you have some help and some connections off the start, or did you have to really work this on your own?
Yeah, it's a very independent, industry. So a lot of times, I came out here and I was traveling a lot. And then I came out and I met a poet named Life with the Black Eyed Peas. And he was like, oh my God, I'd love to do a session with you. And so I did a session with them. And that's how I got my artist name Novel. They were like, you're like our little Fergie, little sister from this small town. You're like quite the story. And my last name is Novelin, so Novel fit. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So from there, I just kept meeting people. And it is a very hustle, very hard industry. But luckily, I just never gave up, and I just kept being persistent and releasing singles. And so far, a lot of people are really, loving my sound and my stuff, which I'm so excited, being independent. But yeah, I just kept hustling and kept meeting people, and yeah, I'm here now.
So tell me a bit about your music. I had a chance to listen to some of it and see some of the videos, which videos, obviously, that's a whole other beast, even getting those produced. But tell me a little bit about your music and why you choose that genre.
I've always been gravitated towards pop. I've been dancing since I was 3, so I was always on the stage, and I really liked, the pop beats. I felt like I could really express myself. And so I just kind of took that, and I'm such a visual artist, which is very rare. I picture things when I'm writing or recording, I'm already picturing the music video. So any of those music videos that you have seen, I've directed them, I've written them. So I'm very hands-on with my career and my craft, which out here it's very rare. Usually there's a whole team, but luckily I've been doing this all on my own. So I just really gravitated towards that, sound, and, being on stage. I feel like I could really express myself even more with the dancing and collaborating, and yeah.
So do you write most of your own music as well then?
Yeah, so everything is from my heart, with everything I've been through. It's my little therapy. I journal all the time. And so when I go into sessions, I come up, with these lyrics, these melodies, but I also love co-writing. It's surprisingly, if you look into songs, how, especially with major labels, there'll be 6 to 10 to 12 writers. But, I try to keep it small, and sometimes I co-write with other writers, and that's just how you grow. And everyone gets creative together with this art. But yeah, everything I've written is on my music.
And what about performing novel? How much fun is that for you when, I mean, I just look at your stuff and you have so much energy. So how do you keep that up? And when you get on stage and, you know, all these people are watching you, I guess you said you started in dance, but still, that's a really big step. So how do you feel when you're out on stage and performing?
You know, it's so hard to explain. It's like something just hits me and I just like go into this like, I guess this novel state of just like confidence, energy. And when I'm performing, I'm like getting everyone's energy. So I'm just like, woof, I gotta like release the energy out through my movements and stuff. But it's just hard to explain. I don't know, I guess it was just like a gift. It just like hits me and I just turn on to this high energy. And I want my shows to be fun. I want people to leave and be like, wow, that was fun. I want it to be a safe place for people are come that say they're going through harder times or they're just like want to release and, you know, feel something. That's why my shows are so important. And I put so much into my shows because I want them to leave like, wow, they felt a part of my show. They felt energized. They felt like they could leave a small town if they wanted to and follow their dreams. Like I just wanted it to feel very intimate and fun.
Will we get a chance to see you anywhere close to, you know, Lloydminster or, you know, even Edmonton, Calgary area performing at any time soon?
Yeah,
Do you have
I'm
any
so
plans?
excited. I got my show in Calgary. It's May 21st at the Twisted Element Club. So I'm so excited. So I'll be dropping more information where people could come out and support. But I'm like so excited because it's very close to Lloydminster, kind of my hometown. So I'm really excited and I hope a lot of people come up to see my show.
Well, and let's talk about the music. Do you have anything in the works now? Any new songs that are going to be dropping anytime soon? Where are you at with that stage?
Yeah, so I'm finalizing my EP right now. I have like a bunch of records that is set and they're ready to go. So I'm getting the process to set them up, to start releasing them, to shoot some more visuals. I also wrote a really fun Western kind of country rap song that I'm like so excited to be dropping too. So that's coming because I wanted to represent, you know, my hometown and the people out there, but they love country. So I might be dropping that. I don't know if that'll be my next single or coming up, but I definitely have a bunch of new music coming out that I'm so excited about.
Well, it's been a pleasure to chat with you today, Novel. And if anybody is looking to find your music and you know find out more about the show in Calgary, what's the best place to kind of find everything that you have, I guess, all in one place?
Yeah, so my website is www.itsnovel.com and that has like everything. All my socials or all my socials are just at It's Novel. And that's NOVUL because I love all of you.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. Like I said, it's been amazing to have the talk and hear your story. So let's chat again sometime closer to your show so we can remind everybody that you're going to be coming to Calgary in May.
I love that. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for their love and support. It means so much from a local artist.
And that's all the time we have for Primetime Local News on this Thursday evening. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.